Hello, everybody, and welcome to IC Markets Market Commentary. My name is Tamar Mehr from Trade with Precision, and today I want to take a look at the US dollar. Now, on 8:30 a.m. New York time, we are going to get CPI numbers, and there's a lot of questions on investors and traders' mind. Has the dollar cycle topped? So the narrative of King Dollar, have we reached the end of it, and we're going to see some pullback? So all eyes are on CPI numbers. There is a broad expectation that it's going to come less than last month. So last month on annual value, we got 8.5%. There's a hope that this month we're going to get 8%. So a bit of a cool down of this red hot inflation. So all eyes on the numbers and how the Fed is going to react next week in their meeting. There is big expectation for an increase of 0.75%, but it's the forward guidance and what they're going to do next that the market is mostly concentrating on. So let's have a look from a technical point of view and at levels that the market might pull back into and might consider resuming the current long-term trend that it's in. So I want to start with dollar yen. Now in dollar yen, very strong uptrend. This is the daily chart and we can see we moved to a new higher high and now we're in the process of pulling back. So what I've done is mark the Fibonacci retracement from the low all the way to the high. And we can see that the 61.8% retracement is clustering quite nicely with the previous swing high. So this is the swing high on the weekly chart. We'll have a look in a minute. But what we can also see is that if and when the market will pull back to that area, we're also going to release some of the strong buying pressure and be back into the buy zone, that area between the 10 and the 20 moving averages. Now, obviously, if the CPI numbers are going to be so much better than what the market is expecting, and we are starting to see inflation coming down strongly, then potentially we might see a deeper pullback. So I want to see with every kind of trade that I'm looking for an end of a pullback, I want to see sign that this pullback is over. So usually looking at the lower time frame, something like a 1 hour or even a 15 minutes, and I want to see that the trend that is forming on that time frame has started to change direction. So going back into an uptrend. So let's jump into the weekly chart and have a look at that scenario. So we can see here the line that I marked is a swing high here on the weekly chart. The weekly chart has a beautiful, consistent uptrend, clear series of higher highs and higher lows. Moving averages are fanning and in the correct order. So we're also going to work out if and when we'll pull back into that level on the overextension in the weekly chart. Looking at the monthly, and we can see that price is still very, very overextended. So potentially we could even see a deeper pullback than that. The next market that I'm keeping an eye on is pound versus the US. Now, pound versus the US on the weekly chart, beautiful downtrend, clear series of lower highs and lower lows. Moving averages are fanning and in the correct order. A nice convergence here on the momentum indicators. Now, I marked the level here, the previous low that we made on March 2020. And what I'd like to point out, and we'll see it on the lower time frame, is that this push to a new lower low actually went slightly lower than this previous low. So it's an important element to me because it shows me that there is intention from the sellers. However, market has pushed quite strongly, quite sharply to the downside, and we tend to see a pullback after big moves such as this. So that's what we're having right now. We're currently in the process of pulling back, and I'd like to see a deeper pullback because this is an important low that the market has tested. So the next level that is quite strong and significant on this market is 1.2. That will be a rather deeper pullback in the context of the lower time frame, but it will bring us back into the sell zone and into these plenty of touches at that level. So on pound US, I am looking for a deeper pullback. So back into the sell zone on the weekly chart. I'd like to see a test or close to a test around this level, lower time from changing direction, and then I'll be looking for continuation of this trend. Mind you, there are also CPI numbers coming out of the UK on Wednesday UK morning. Now, quick look at the monthly chart, and we can see how overextended the market is over here. So still there is a lot of overextension to work out, but I like the fact, and I'll show you this on the 1 hour, that the market has actually pinged that low before running higher and starting the pullback. And we can see we're still in an uptrend here on the lower time frame charts. The last market that I want to take a look at is euro dollar. There was a lot of talks about the fact that euro dollar broke below parity and also traded lower. So it's a level that we haven't seen since about 2002. So currently this is the weekly chart and we are in a beautiful downtrend again. Clear series of lower highs and lower lows. Moving averages are fanning and in the correct order, and nice convergence here on the momentum indicators. Now on euro dollar, we already pulled back to the beginning of the sell zone, so we're just touching the 10 moving average. I'd like to see the market pulling back a little bit more, and what I'd like to see is the market coming close to this previous touch. So I want to see what the market has in that latest pullback. So my plan for this market is to look for a deeper pullback. Yes, it will look on the lower time frame as a change of direction, but what's important to me, I want to see that the next touch around that area couldn't push higher than this previous swing high. So if it does, then potentially we might get an even deeper pullback, and the next level that I'll be looking at is sitting around here. So this is around the 1.8 area. You can see there's a couple of touches around that area. But if the market will come up and unable to push above this area, then I'll be looking for short opportunity from this point. So with euro dollar, because the central bank and their forward guidance in the European Central Bank is actually changed to increasing interest rate, and they already did that with a 0.75 last week. So I am watching those levels, and I want to see signs from the market that the pullback is over. So two levels that I'm watching. The first one is around the 1.0360. I don't want to see a push above this high, but if that happen, then we could see a push all the way up to the 1.07880 area, and then I'll be looking for a rollover in the context of the monthly time frame, because this one is still looking very, very bearish. Happy trading, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.